Hello. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes and let some folks get on here. So if you're joining me, please say something. Hi, Tina. Hey, Tom. Please say something in the comment box when you come in so I'll know you're here. Hey, Heather. Aw, thank you, Tom. Hi, Tina. It's so good to see you guys. Well, I don't get to see you, though. That's the bummer. I see your little face in the circles there. So how's everyone doing tonight? Hi, Heather. Tonight's topic kind of came to me intuitively. I'm guided that there are some people in this community that could benefit from this subject as much as I can always benefit from talking about it. So if there's something going on for you and you're looking for some guidance around how to stay in divine love and timing and out of fear or anxiety or even pain sometimes that we get ourselves into, definitely post your questions and let me know how I can help you. We can brainstorm these things together. That's the power of community. Thank you, Tom, for doing such a great job with these Facebook Lives and greeting folks and keeping the flow of conversation going. I just think it's so important to have community, to be able to come together when life gets challenging or when we're going through some rocky times and support one another. And so I don't claim to have all the answers to anything. I just follow my intuition to the topics and the answers kind of flow if I can get out of the way. And this topic around divine timing, trusting and faith, it's been coming up a lot in groups lately. And with my clients, I had a women's circle here last weekend. We talked about it. And it's funny because when we first started the activity, I thought, I'm doing pretty good with faith and trust. And it wasn't very long before I realized where I was also holding tight to the way I wanted something to go in my life instead of really surrendering that. So that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. I invite you to look at an aspect of your life that might flow better than it is flowing right now. Probably an area that you're feeling challenges. It tends to be where we're kind of emotionally raw. And look at how can I begin to get out of the way and really allow the divine to flow through me in that area of my life. And I'm just kind of going to jump in here, but I invite you to make this as interactive as you'd like. Chime in with what you'd like to talk about. And this will be our conversation and not just my monologue, because you all have great ideas too. So I think the most important thing is always to bring myself to the present moment. Because when life is making me anxious, when I'm going through a challenge, I tend to live in where that's gone wrong in the past and is that going to happen again and worrying. Or I project to the future and I try to take care of everything that hasn't even happened yet, right? Because we need to feel like we have some control over this thing that feels so out of control. And so the truth of the matter is when I can bring myself to the present moment and say, wait a minute, right here, right now, I'm fine. There's absolutely nothing the matter. I'm safe. I'm comfortable, even if I've got some anxiety going on. I can breathe through that and I can see that in this moment, I'm okay. I think that's really important because it brings us back to a place where we can do something about it. A bunch of people have joined. Hi, I'm scrolling through here. This thing doesn't automatically scroll. They made me get on the latest, greatest Google Chrome and then it doesn't scroll, so I have to catch up. Hi, all of you, and thank you so much for being here. So my anxiety kind of can run rampant, and it's really important for me to say, right here, right now, I'm okay. And in coming back to this present moment, I'm reminded that that is the only place I can make a difference, right? Because the past is over, the future hasn't happened yet, and I honestly have no idea how it's going to unfold. So right now, what do I need? Bringing it back to that focus takes this big elephant-sized problem and makes it manageable. And the minute I go, yeah, but then what? Then I'm back in the future, right? Or, but what if, then I'm going back to the past. So catching ourselves and going, okay, I need to be right here, and noticing how much the mind wants to be everywhere else where it has no power. There's no power in the past or the future, is there? And right here, right now, we're supported in so many ways. Hey, Clarissa. Hey, Deanna. I'm so glad to see everybody. Hi, Nikki. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So is this resonating? Somehow bringing ourselves to the present moment. I know this seems like, stress management 101, the fundamentals, stress management for idiots. But it's funny when we get anxious, even those of us that have been in this working to be in the present moment for months or years can immediately slip and slide, right? Because we're human and we go into that anxiety state. So divine love, divine timing, that's what we can come to if we can take some deep breaths. And it also really calms the nervous system. So it's excellent for our body and it's excellent for our stress management. Then another thing that I think is, yes, I love it. Presence in the presence. Amen. Another thing that really helps is balancing our flow of energy. So especially for those of us that are working to be more conscious, we can tend to be either way in spirit and not very grounded, or we can be too much in the body and forgetting that we have guidance out there that can help us. So it's about balancing our presence in this moment, in this body, and anchoring ourselves to earth, and if we have to, being barefoot in the soil and just getting connected to the earth, and then equally connecting to our guidance, connecting to our ancestors, connecting to all that support. I've got star seeds here, and I've got metaphysical people here and spiritual people here. Whatever guidance is for you, it's about connecting with that too and bringing that in. So we're connecting from below, we're connecting from above. Right? That is really empowering if we can balance that. So notice where you tend to go when life gets anxious, and make yourself more conscious. Do something, find a way to be more aware that, oh wait, this is when I really need to balance my energy, right? Between the two. Is this resonating? Let's see. And be sure and post your questions. Good. I'm glad. Thank you. Let me know if there's anything else that I'm not talking about. Yes, mindfulness. So we can talk about that too. So I've got some notes here. Let's see, what else did I say? I think it's real important to remember a time when you were going through something similar, and despite your best efforts, it all went out of control and it turned out better than you could have imagined. Has everybody here had a moment like that? My best friend Jeannie and I joke about that all the time. Like, the things that have turned out the best in my life, like those were the things that I would have never even picked for myself, or that's what happened when my life spun out of control. I think it's important to realize that sometimes that's where the real gold is. If we can just trust. And it helps to remember a time when we did that in the past or didn't do that in the past, and it all worked out okay in spite of ourselves, right? I think that's important too. So there's, again, I use this word a lot, balancing. There's the balancing of doing what we can, because we need to be active in this moment. We need to be taking action as we are guided. When we are guided is when it's most effective. But we also need to trust. So if it doesn't go the way we'd like it to go, maybe it's going to work out better, even if it doesn't look like that right now. Some of the best things that have ever happened to me came in really what I thought was horrible packaging. And I thought, oh, it's all over now. And it worked out great, right? So that can be empowering as well. It's also really beneficial to take care of ourselves when we're going through these times. Self-care, I can't say enough about how rewarding and empowering and strengthening it is. Self-care is where it's at. When it feels like life is beating us up, when it feels like it's out of control, take a few moments and take care of yourself, and it shifts everything. We who are healers and light workers and star seeds who came to be of benefit to the planet, we're really good at giving it all away. We don't fill our own cup first. So before we give it all away, it's really good if we can stop and say, okay, what do I need right now? What would make me feel better? What will calm me down? What will help me feel joyful and good, and like I have something to give again, and taking care of ourselves first. It's not our intuitive thing, but it's what we need to be learning how to do better. So I'll talk about some ways we can do that. It looks like some more people have hopped on. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Raina Shay, be sure and drop something in the comment box. Let me know what's going on with you right now. If you don't feel like sharing something personal, then just maybe where you could use some support, because we're all here together. Let's support each other. That's the power of this beautiful Harmonic Convergence 333 community. So let us know what kind of support we can be giving you. And we'd all love to do that, right? Okay, so the best way we can have self-care is just to rest. And it's ironic that many of us aren't sleeping the night through right now. There's been a lot going on energetically. I believe that Ava, who could not join us tonight because she's busy with end of school year things, and she sends her love, I believe that she's going to be posting, or has recently posted, and Tom, please share if she has, that she's doing a video on the energies of May, the Palladian energies, and what those are going to be all about and how we can work with those. So there's energetically stuff going on that's keeping many of us awake at night. There can be anxiety. There can be just all the shifting and changing that's going on. So getting rest is not always the easiest thing, but doing the best that we can to prepare our bodies so that we can rest well at night, that's very beneficial. Let me catch up here on the comments since they don't scroll. How do you not feel guilty in doing so? In the self-care? Is that what you were asking about, Deanna? Not feeling guilty in the self-care? How to self-care, doing some activities. Perfect. Yes, and you're right. And generally the people that don't understand when we go into self-care are the ones that are used to us giving it all to them. And so it's a retraining, isn't it? Because I love that Maya Angelou says we teach people how to treat us. So self-care is about teaching the people that love us the most, you know what? There are some things that I need to be doing for myself that have become really important to me. So I would just love it if you could give me the time and the space and support to do these things for myself, and then just go ahead and do them whether you've got the support or not, because it's really important. Getting rest is number one. It's simple things. It's the things the doctor tells us to do, even in the Western world, right? Get enough rest, eat nutritious foods and drink nutritious things, because we think we're treating ourselves when we hit the drive-through so we don't have to slave in the kitchen when we get home, but we're putting garbage in our bodies and it feels bad for it. So to the best of our ability, I've been juicing and I can't believe how much my energy's going right up again. But you don't have to juice. Just at least eat one nutritious meal a day and then aim for 2. Try and have healthier snacks. Notice how your body feels better and feels more loved when you feed it really good foods and beverages. So that's one. Plenty of water is one. Play is such a basic. We did that without being told when we were kids. Now it's like we have to create time and space to play. I got myself a little home trampoline. So now I jump on that and it's so fun. The whole time I'm jumping up and down, I'm smiling and I'm giggling. I'm having a ball and I'm getting a great little bit of exercise in. So find ways to play. Give yourself 10 minutes a day that you can step outside and just be barefoot in the ground, in the grass, or take a walk in nature or something like that, just to reconnect to the earth. Nature is a great mood booster. It's so good for us. And we take it for granted that we can look out the window, but getting out there is beneficial. You guys chime in your ideas too. Let me catch up. All right. My appetite has changed. Yes, that's the irony, is like if I can stop eating the things that I know I shouldn't be eating anyway, then my taste for them kind of diminishes. It's like sugar craves sugar and vegetables crave vegetables. So starting to make that shift, it kind of becomes more automatic. What are some other self-care things? How often do you give yourself the gift of music other than just when you're sitting in your car? Like, taking a break when you feel really stressed and either going for a walk outside or stepping outside and going barefoot in the grass, or putting on a song and just moving around and dancing to it. If you're in an environment where you can't do those things, find a way to give yourself a few minutes of privacy. Even if you have to step in the bathroom and close the stall and just be. Just practice some deep breathing in there. It's sad that we sometimes in corporate America have to hide in the bathroom, but if that's what it takes, do that, right? it's just important that we decide that we're important enough to take a few minutes from taking care of everybody else and worrying about everybody else and taking care of ourselves. So those are a few ideas. I also think that having the crystals and stones with us is a great way. Take them with you, wear them in your jewelry. Having those with you can also help keep your vibration high. And don't underestimate that the people that you're around and the relationships that you're in have energy. They either feel good and they raise your vibration and you feel great, or they don't. You're either raising your vibration or lowering your vibration. And if you're the radiant one, make sure you still surround yourself with other radiant people and activities and things and music, or get your time alone to recharge yourself, because people can be a drain on us, especially those that are downers. And you know at least one. And the more often we're around them, the more we notice our energy level dropping. So it's really important to manage your own energy level by surrounding yourself with things that will bring it back up for you, and doing that for yourself, making that effort. That's important self-care. Okay, let's see. I love that, Raina Shay. Grounding at the river. Ooh, that sounds yummy. I would love that too. Words too, and what we say, absolutely. And not just to one another. The most important words we hear are the ones that are always going on in our head, our self-talk. And we tend to not be so aware of it because it's there all the time. But for those of us that grew up with more critical language, we tend to go there in our minds. We tend to go to the negative. We tend to expect the worst. We tend to think very self-defeating thoughts. And the more we can become aware of those and start to shift that language. And it doesn't have to be just to the opposite. It can just be starting to move it. So every time I catch myself, I try and shift it a little bit. If I catch myself saying, that's so stupid, why do I always do that? Wait a minute, I don't always do that. And I'm doing it less all the time. So it's catching yourself and beginning to shift your language so that it feels better. Because we need to be our own best friend, don't we? And that means giving ourselves a break and encouraging ourselves and saying things like, wow, you look great today. We can do this. We've faced worse. Whatever comes to you to help you get through the moments that are the most challenging. It's funny that we don't talk about it a lot, but I'm going to talk about it. Sex. Sex is a great way to lift your mood. And if you don't have a partner, you don't need a partner either. Whatever it takes to move that sexual energy, sex is very powerful energy and it needs to be moved. So we can talk about that, but that's probably its own podcast or broadcast. But it's good to at least recognize that sexual energy is also a great way to move that energy. And we can do that for ourselves, in fact. Okay. I also have notes here about decluttering our space, decluttering our relationships, decluttering, blessing and releasing the things that we don't need anymore, blessing and releasing the relationships that no longer serve us. Blessing and releasing is such a powerful activity to say, thank you, thank you, thank you. You've served me, and now I release you to serve another. Recycling those things that we get rid of to keep from having so much in the landfill, and just blessing and releasing. It's powerful stuff. Maybe you've got some blessing and releasing you'd like to post about that's been beneficial for you. I love it. Clarissa, I knew you'd jump in there on that one. Yay for sex. All right. Yes, thank you all for sharing. And if you haven't shared yet, please do. We want to hear from you. And don't feel bad if you're going through a hard time. That's what we're here for. So if something is really challenging you right now and you need some good energy, you need a suggestion, we're here for you. Okay. So, and that means you, if you're watching after this live broadcast, still, please, we'll come back and converse with you on the comments. So I guess my last real thought that I had notes on is we tend to look outside ourselves. We've been culturalized in our society to look for what we want to complete us, to make us feel happy, to whatever we want or need. We're used to looking for that outside ourselves. A romantic partner, someone that'll make us happy, somebody that takes good care of us, somebody to pay the bills, whatever that is. And I just want to say that we can do so much more for ourselves that we aren't used to doing. We aren't used to saying, this thing that I need so much, how can I give that to myself? That is self-care. How can I take care of myself? How can I ask for help more? How can I be more grateful so that I don't feel like there's so much scarcity? You know, when I shifted from what I wanted and what I thought I lacked to focusing on what I have, my life instantly began to become more abundant without changing anything physically. And the more abundant it became, and the more grateful I became, and the more grateful I became, the more abundant it became, the abundance just started to flow. And it's beautiful because I really don't worry about these things anymore. They have actually started to take care of themselves. I'm not suggesting that I just sit back and life just delivers to my doorstep whatever I want. Sometimes that happens and it's pretty cool. Often I have to do something for it. But the more I'm grateful for my needs being met and the amazing people in my life and the help that I have and all these things that make my life so rich, really rich, way beyond money, the more everything else just takes care of itself. So whatever you're needing so much, how can you engage and help another, and in that, bring that to yourself as well? Does that make sense? If not, let me know and we'll speak more about it. Decluttering. Yeah, decluttering is fun. I did the thing earlier this year where I got rid of everything that I didn't love in my house, or love at least that I can fix something for myself because I have that tool or whatever. So everything that brings me joy is what I have left. And I can't believe how much fun it is to come home now. And every room I go into, it's just, I get giddy because I'm surrounded by things I love. And most of them aren't spectacular high dollar things. They're things that someone special gave to me, or that we picked up together in a special memory or whatever. So they're very special to me. So I highly recommend decluttering. So if you've just joined us, please jump in the comment box and say hi. Let us know what's going on for you. If you have any questions or challenges, we'd love to help you with those. That is the point of this community, is that we can uplift one another and help one another out. And these are amazing times. There are a lot of people awakening to starseed aspects of themselves, spiritual aspects of themselves, gifts that they have that they didn't know they had, that they don't quite know how to use yet, or they're learning to use them in new ways. And it's all exciting, but it's also a lot on the human to go through those things. And we need to take care of the human so that we can continue to be here and have these experiences on Earth. So how can we balance those better? How can we deal with our impatience and stay in divine timing and know that that's perfect, and trust and let go, and trust that all is working out for the greatest good if we can get out of the way, and when it's time for us to act and when it's not. Building our intuition so that we can clearly hear our own guidance is so important to knowing what's right for you, because you're the only one that knows that. So that's a biggie, is spending some time asking your body what it needs, asking your guides what they want you to know, and really learning how to listen and feel their answers. And if I can help with any of that, be sure and let me know. Yes, respect yourself. Absolutely, Tom, that's a good one. And I've got to give a shout out to moms. Ladies, we're our own moms. Men, sometimes you've had to learn how to be your own mom. With absent mothers, with the mothers, we have children. We are mothers, we have mothers. Mother's Day is such a special day, and there is a mother and a child inside of each one of us. So celebrating all the different aspects of the motherly love. Our Earth Mother, Pachamama, she is our Earth Mother. She takes care of us. Without her nutrients and oxygen from the trees and all the things that we get, we wouldn't even be here. So celebrating our Earth Mother, celebrating any mother that we have, the lunar mother. Some of us have worked with plant medicine, and that's a mother or a grandmother energy. So celebrating motherly love this weekend, and some are already traveling to do that. My dear friend Anita is on her way, and I wish all the mothers just a wonderful weekend of celebration. My mother's gone, and I have stepchildren, but usually it's more of a quiet day for me, but it's a day to celebrate all the mothers that I've had in my life, and I've had some wonderful ones. So I hope you have special plans this weekend for Mother's Day, and shout out to all the moms. Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, boundaries. Boundaries are interesting. I've actually learned to thank the people that show me that I don't have a boundary. The minute I get triggered and get upset, I realize, well, they didn't take anything that I didn't give in some way by not having a boundary, not enforcing it. So boundaries, the teachers of boundaries are sometimes the ones we resent, but wow, do we learn a lot about where we need to respect ourselves more. Boundaries are self-love. Boundaries are, I respect me, and this is what I need. That's what boundaries are, and they're a beautiful thing to enforce and feel. Hi, Christy. I always focus on others because they have the impression that if I focus on myself and my life, I will not be interested about others anymore. That is interesting. And others are just a reflection for us because we're all one, if you subscribe to that. And so there is a reflective element to this earthly existence. And so really, we're still kind of focusing on ourselves when we focus on others because the people we attract are so similar to us, or they're showing us things about ourselves we haven't learned to love yet. But I don't think you'd become disinterested in others. I just don't think that would happen. Happy anniversary, Deanna. What a wonderful anniversary. Hi, Margot in New Zealand. Oh, wow. Cortisone injections. Those are intense. Still not hearing your guides? Sometimes it can come through as a feeling. So maybe you're more clear. Maybe it can come through as a thought. Sometimes we can ask for our messages to come through other people and for us to get some kind of a knowing that that's from our guidance. So sometimes that will happen if we can't quite hear the channel yet. Someone will show up and say that thing that's an answer to our question. And at that point, it may be easier for us to just confirm, sit with our guidance after that and say, was that your answer? And let me know, give me a feeling of certainty. And some people get goosebumps, people get all kinds of things, but you can start to open that channel in different ways until you can actually hear them. So don't give up. That's great. I love these comments. Okay. Any questions before we sign off? I want to honor your time tonight, and we try to keep these to 30 minutes. Eva will be back. We do these on, what is it, the second week of the month, I believe. Is this the second week of the month? I should have had that date handy, but I don't have it handy. But anyway, even I do these once a month. And as I said earlier, she's with her children for the end of the school year. And she asked me if I could fly solo this time. So thank you for joining me. I hope I did okay with that, Ms. Eva. If you have any questions, drop them in either now or after the broadcast, and we will definitely take care of those. And it's so good to have all of you join me. And remember, divine timing works. Divine love is always with us. We tend to get in the way. It's not that it disappears. It's that we shut it off. We shut it out by trying to control the situation, trying to take charge, being impatient, all those wonderful human aspects that we all struggle with. So breathing back into the present moment and practicing some of the strategies that we've shared here. And please share some more. I know you have some great ones, and I want to hear from you too. We in this community, we are here to support one another. So if you're really struggling, hop onto that phone or laptop or whatever and get into Harmonic Convergence 333 and say, help, I'm struggling. And someone will be here to help you. We're here for you. Tom, you do such a great job with these. Thank you so much for officiating these and welcoming everyone. And thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day. Namaste and so much love. And I will see you in the group.